I didn't sell out, son. I bought in. Keep that in mind.
Welcome to the Independent Characters, episode 262. This is Carl, but I'm joined by three very special guests today, so thank you so much for joining us. I have
Lars Madsen, Steve Noya,
and Thom Hall.
Hey guys, thanks so much. We've been playing Imperium Maledictum today, struggling our way through the rules. Which, if you're a member of the Patreon, you will be able to hear that live play or live struggle.
Live struggle.
I'll edit it, so I edit out some of the what is this?
What
rule
page is that on?
The rules lookup phase.
Yeah, the rules lookup
The
phase.
sizzling sounds of page flipping.
We should have actually set a rules lookup phase so we knew when to edit that period out next time. Anyway, we're part of the Goonhammer Media Network, so you can check us out at media.goonhammer.com for more shows and information. But first off, this show is sponsored by two of our great Patreons, Cody Cluck and Sean Mickery. Thank you so much for your support, folks. I really do appreciate it. It is helping keep the show going. This episode, we are going to be talking about the role-playing game Imperium Maledictum by Cubicle 7. This is a game that, Steve, you got a chance to play at Adepticon.
Yep.
You had the rule book before then, though, right? You had bought the core rule book before then. And as I saw this game come out, my first thought was, well, it's not the most flashy title for a game.
It's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah. I have to keep looking at it. Go, what's it called again? And when I first saw it come out, I kind of thought, like, what's the point of this game?
I thought it was Dark Heresy 3.0.
Cubicle 7 had Wrath and Glory, which they had purchased from its original incarnation, reformatted. And so I was like, why are they doing another 40K game? I couldn't figure out where it sat in the I guess the positioning of all their gaming stuff. And so as I looked at it further, I ended up buying the book because I had credit in Amazon from everything I was buying there on my credit card. And I was like, you know what, I'll get this and take a look at it. And as I looked through it, I was like, I don't understand how this is supposed to be played. Like, I couldn't get a sense of that. So I thought, well, if I had the starter set, I know there's a starter adventure in there and that might point me in the right direction. But rather than run out and spend the $50 on the starter box set, I decided I'm going to write Cubicle 7 and see if they will give me a copy of the starter box, even a PDF copy, so I can kind of walk through it. So I wrote their marketing department. And I said, hey, here's who I am and here's what I want to do and here's what I'm asking for. And they were like, we looked up your show and no problem. We'll send you a copy. We're going to send you a copy of the core rule book. We'll send you a copy of the starter set and we'll send you the GM screen. So I was like, cool. So now I have
Super cool.
2 copies of the rule book. One of those is going to go to a Patreon member.
Fantastic.
I will put up a post in the Patreon and if you acknowledge that post, I'll enter you into the drawing for it. And I will send out the core rulebook for Imperium Maledictum, which, as we saw in the basic box, like I got an understanding for how it's played. So we'll talk more about that later. And we'll talk about the kind of the mechanics, where the setting is, all that kind of stuff. We really just scratched the surface today in our initial play. But yeah, I kind of dig it. I mean, spoiler alert. It's kind of a cool system.
It was pretty fun.
Okay, so that's the show concept, but let's go into Elite Choice first, and I'll go ahead and go first. I chose Jehoshaphat's Rubric Marines from our Discord channel. This is my Rubric Marines are super clean, like they're super blue, super clean. I really love the paint job that Colin Ward did on these. These are like, I don't know how to describe it other than rough. Thom, you might have a better name
they
for
have
it.
a bit more texture to them.
They have a patina.
A bit more patina.
Yeah. I mean, they look worn. They look old. great basing. Like the army looks fantastic. This unit looks amazing. So I'm a super fan of Thousand Sons. I really like what Jehoshaphat's done here. I can't wait to see the rest of the army, to be honest with you. I think they look fantastic. Steve, what'd you pick?
I picked Patrick Heath from Facebook and the Hopper Progress Challenge. He's got a Sisters of Battle army.
Yeah.
Just the conversion on the main character from the Age of Sigmar character.
Oh, that's the one Don talked about last episode.
Yeah. But when you look at the whole force,
It's incredible.
it's just the composition's great, right? It's just something that I aspire to. The little bit of OSL on the plasma gun, it's not everything is OSL, just a little bit, just really brought it together for me.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. He got called out for this terrain, I think, by myself a couple episodes ago, because I think even the terrain looks fantastic. But I looked at this, and I think my response to him was how angry it made me, because this is where I should be with my sisters. This is where I should be with my sisters' models, and yet I am not. I've gotten a little distracted with my stuff at the moment. So, I think it's a fantastic choice, Steve, and clearly Patrick knows what he's doing here. This stuff's great. Thom, what would you pick?
I was poring over all the different images on the channel there, and Odin Stormfist and his Nurgle Chaos Knights really stood out, to me over the past couple of weeks here. They're just awesome. They really get that Nurgly feel, all the grime and the dirt and the pus and the boils, and I really like the four-legged
conversions. Yeah,
That is not a cheap conversion, because that requires an Adeptus Mechanicus model. I don't remember what it's called, but it's on 4 legs. It has like a squat box on top of it. I've looked at this. I've thought, oh, that's a cool conversion. I've seen other people do it. I'm like, oh, that's a cool conversion. That's an expensive conversion. I'm going to pass on that one. But that is cool looking.
Yeah, well, they hit it right on the money for me, and it looks really great.
Yeah. Yeah. Great work. Even everything works for this army.
vivid green.
Super vivid. Super vivid. I'm one of those people that Jeff used to always say, I'd like to see you paint something bright, because I always paint something kind of darker colors.
I tend to fall into that category. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you pick, Lars?
David Watson's Sisters of Battle Land Raider.
Yeah. I don't think they even get Land Raiders.
They don't.
But my God, this is gorgeous.
It's an Exorcist pipe organ on top of a Land Raider, and it's painted up with all kinds of decorations. It's just way over the top. Sisters of Battle vehicle. And if you take a close look at it, you'll see that he's got like the full palette of colors in there. Mm-hmm. He didn't just go with, I need these 2 colors and then a couple of splashes and that's it. It's just, very well done, David.
This is a model I would let you use as a Land Raider in a game against you. Even though they don't get them, I'd be like, pay a Space Marine Land Raider cost and let's have it.
That's too cool. Let's do it.
That's awesome. Absolutely love it.
Yep.
Fantastic work. All right. So now we enter the good old workbench phase, what we've been working on. Now, you guys haven't been on a long time, and I think you, Lars, had said you hadn't been on.
I feel like I've been on once since Imperial Armor 11, but I can't remember when it was.
And I was like, you are not going to talk about all your hobby progress since Imperial Armor 11.
Definitely not.
Give me the last 2 weeks. I'll go ahead and start just as an example. I assembled 20 Terminators for Shell's Space Hulk adventure here. She has been working on this 6-player Space Hulk game ever since we played at Adepticon and purchased these guys older terrain. And so we got a hold of 5 kits of the newer Terminators and 1 kit of the Space Wolf Terminators. And we decided what chapters we were going to paint each of those. Shell has settled on Imperial Fists, the Emperor's Spears from the Arendimski Bowden book. Spears of the Emperor is that book. Salamanders. We have a squad led by an Inquisitor of Deathwatch Marines. And then we have the Space Wolves. And then I have Minotaurs. So not your traditional Space Hulk units. Or rather chapters, but it makes for a great game. And so with that, I not only got 20 Terminators assembled, which the new kit comes in a lot of pieces. It's gorgeous, but I'm sick of assembling Terminators. Then I did base coats on the Imperial fists, which Thom, you and I were talking about this earlier. I used like a brownish reddish base coat primer on them, then highlighted a zenithal white over that, and then did the yellow. And man, I'm super happy with the way that's starting out.
Nice warm yellow color.
Yeah. Then I did the Emperor Spears, basically black over dark blue air speed paint, and then airbrushed the zenithal white and then a light blue on that. So those are looking really cool. And then I did the Salamanders Terminators, basically the same way, black, super dark green, and then a very bright green that it was a speed paint. So as you apply more layers, it gets darker until, seasoned to taste. I think it's just a fantastic color on them. It made me wish Jeff were still playing this game because it's a color I think he would appreciate. So I'm kind of thinking, we were talking at lunch today and Steve brought up that the first company of salamanders used black helmets. So I was originally going to do them white, and I see a lot of pictures of them green. And then I think I settled on black after Steve brought that up. And I'll probably add some flame effects to those too. I have a flame tutorial that I posted on the Independent Characters years ago. I'll just copy that and do a couple pieces of flame stuff on those guys as well. But either way, I mean, I think these are going to look absolutely fantastic. Plus, I'm going to oil wash all of them. Travis sat and showed me how to do oil washing. And so I've bought all the things I need for that. I'm going to oil wash all these. I think they're going to just really, really look great on the table. So, and we have I think another 18 or 20 gene stealers coming, and then we're good.
Plenty of bugs.
Yeah. I hate painting gene stealers so much.
I've done it so many of them so long ago at this point. I don't know if I could do it again.
And then the other thing I did was I updated our sector blog. So if you go to theindependentcharacters.com, you click on the sector blog in the upper right corner, you can see games we played and kind of the armies we're playing, our takeaways from those games and such. And I updated all that off of the games I talked about last weekend. So we got that there. Steve, what have you been working on, man? Okay. So first off, you guys are going to talk about the game day that we had that we already talked about before. I was very impressed with what you showed up with, Steve. I'm not even joking. I was super excited to see how much you got painted, man.
Yeah. The best thing about our group is it's okay if something's not completed. Just next time, take it to the next level.
We're just all making progress, right?
We're just making progress. So having seen Carl, Forge Fiend, a Vindicator, a Land Raider, a Demon Prince, my Blood Angels were all melee. I mean, they were all jump pack guys. I'm like, I need some tank.
Yeah.
So I kind of went on a 2 or 3 week binge. A Repulsor, a Ballistus, a Redemptor.
What chapter?
All Blood Angels.
Yep.
In different colors. The Redemptor's gold to be like our first company dreadnought.
Gotcha.
Ballistus is standard repulsors there. Also assembled, primed, painted a Land Raider Redeemer.
This is no joke, dude. This is some good progress, man.
Yeah, it's when I hit the mojo, it kind of flows.
It comes in waves, right?
Yeah. I'll go in an assembly phase. I have a pile of stuff that's sitting there, like that Storm Strike speeder sitting there.
Yeah.
And then something gets me over the edge and lets me go. Decals are a big trigger. Once I get some decals working, then I'm really close.
So you and I sat and I showed you
decals a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now.
And it's super easy. Once you know how to do it, it's this is, and it adds so much to a model.
The mid-sized ones, 100%. The tiny ones, a little fickle. The big ones,
a pain.
I got the Forge World one with the angel on the side. It kind of didn't fit well, and I had a bubble, so I got to get a credit card to get the bubble out.
I watched
Microsol and Microsat.
I watched Colin put the ones that go on the tanks for the custodians, the curved, and I watched him put those on, and he just made it look so easy. And they were huge. They're huge. They were probably 4 or 5 inches long. And I was just like, how did you do this? It just takes practice.
Yeah. I ended up trimming a little bit.
Sure.
It kind of didn't fit
Yeah.
on the side of the repulsor. But got that there. And then since the game day, assembled and started Slapshot Eliminators, Mordheim Witch Hunter Band. And as an unusual, I'm taking credit for not buying anything in the last month.
Good job.
Because that's hard.
Good job. I'll tell you, man. I got a deal on some of this stuff that was so good that it was like, that's why. But I felt the pain of like my backlog grow instead of shrink because I've been making such good progress on it. And then that's why I was like, I just got to knock these Terminators out and just be done with it. I love painting Terminators, so this will be fine. But I probably won't want to paint any more Terminators for a while after this.
Yeah, I'm back on infantry now.
Yeah. Well, great work, dude. And the stuff is looking really, really good, Steve. It's really good. Super impressive. Thom, what have you been up to?
Well, for most of my hobby progress has been putting together and painting a 2,000 point Chaos Old World army, the theme of Wolves of the Sea. So that included all sorts of like Saints Possessed and Chaos Warriors. And my primary gem of that army is a giant chaos spawn that's actually an Atlantean mastodon model from Ralpartha from the 80s. And it is a big metal beast, but it looked really cool on the table when I got a chance to get it out there. So this was a secret army I was putting together behind the scenes for our SummerSlam in the high desert that we did a couple weeks
This is
back.
you and Travis and Ed and all those guys. Okay.
So that was the big piece. But then I'm also putting together right now a Blood Bowl Sevens pitch that I'm painting, and next on the table is going to be Imperial agents. I got to go with the Space Weirdos.
Interesting. Why Imperial agents? Like you're a chaos dude.
I am a chaos guy, and I got a bunch of these Imperial agents, and as well as some of the other Imperial models with the Goremongers kill team set. And then I saw the Arbites with the the Cyber Mastiff, and I sold. I got to paint some.
Nice.
That looks like a super diverse painting project. Like everything's going to be somewhat different.
Yeah.
It's going to be very different from what I have been painting, for the most part.
Yeah. Cool.
Lars.
Okay, so you wanted me to go back to the last time I was on the show? Because I
No.
got a list that starts here from 2011 or 12. Okay.
I can mute your mic.
Just the 2
swear
weeks.
to God.
Just the 2 weeks. Okay. Just the most recent 2 weeks. Okay.
Lars attended a weathering class from Mr. Justin.
In 1974. No, I've been focusing for the last year on my Dark Angels army that's been sitting around in boxes for a decade or more. And I've been painting up a lot of Terminators myself, so I feel your pain. And by the way, if you need to borrow any Deathwing, I have 60 Deathwing Terminators.
Don't need to borrow any
Okay, just saying they're available to rent.
Are these the newer models or the older ones?
They're the older ones.
Okay.
I'm in too deep to go into the.
Okay, fair enough.
I have to sell a kidney. Working on finishing up Ravenwing Knights. It's mostly just details at this point. I got 6 Ravenwing Knights and then the command squad.
Okay, those are the new guys.
Those they've been around for a while. They're
Okay.
not that new.
Well, you're right, but okay.
Yeah. And I'm at the painful painting of white insignias and that horrible apothecary guy on a bike. It's everything's supposed to be black because it's Ravenwing, except for this one guy who's riding around. He's about 50% white, and it's all detailed stuff. So once I finished that, I also have a partially started Deathwing paint scheme Land Raider Crusader that I want to paint up and get finished. And then I still have a few more Terminators to paint, so I have to finish those. And at the same time, I'm realizing it's like I don't really have any finished terrain. And I kind of got blown off course yesterday.
How often do you play at your place?
Never.
Okay.
Never. And the problem is, like, I go in and say, oh, all my terrain I don't have any done terrain. It's not going to look like much. It's
Okay.
not, So now I went through and I pulled everything out and I said, this is ridiculous. I got to finish some. So I had built up some of the elven terrain from miniature scenery. This is the MDF stuff.
Yeah, I saw you post the picture of it.
Yeah.
And I have the same piece.
Yeah.
I hate dealing with MDF terrain. I just
once
hate
you get it assembled with some wood glue, it's not bad. And I saw
some people do great stuff with it.
Yeah.
Brian used this piece, I think, that you and I have, and did some cool stuff with it. But man,
at some point it's going to require an airbrush. But I got those all primed up. One of the things with MDF is painting it sucks because the paint kind of gets soaked into
it
the
absorbs
fiberboard.
Right into the wood, yeah.
So I picked up a pro tip somewhere. Maybe it was from Mel Bowes.
Okay.
That you just take some
The terrain tutor.
polyurethane. Yeah, that you polyurethane aerosol.
Okay.
And you spray it really good all over and let it soak in and dry out overnight. And that creates the surface that'll paint will sit on so that it doesn't just get
Interesting.
soaked into the fuzz. So I did that and it worked great. So yeah, then just that and a bunch of other scenery and terrain stuff. I have a bunch of barrels that need to be painted. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with those yet. Those are old.
Yeah. Well, you can bring it over the next time we have game day.
All right.
use that.
Well, the
We'll do Blake's paint jam.
There we go.
Paint jam.
Jam.
So these guys at work they're building out clusters of machines, and we're behind on this huge thing. I'm like, we have a cluster jam. And so I've literally made them call it cluster jam in honor of Blake and his paint jam idea.
Them into completion.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, but I'm going to try and get Jim. I met Jim at game day there. It turns out he and I don't live very far apart.
Yeah, I think you're very close to each other.
So I'm like, oh, well, I need to get this done.
Great
So I
guy.
drag him over. Yeah.
Great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah. I only meet the best guys on the internet.
That's true. That's true.
Although I met him at an event. So
okay.
But he's a really, really nice guy. So yeah, I hope to have more games with him. Okay. Let's roll into games played. I played nothing between the time that I last recorded and did this. Quite frankly, I'm amazed at how much hobby progress I got done because it was only a week ago that we recorded. So that's me. Steve.
It was the game day.
Yeah.
2v2. I'm going to apologize now to Sky. I don't remember what your force is called, but I'm going with blood salamanders.
I don't remember what they're called. They're orange and black. Like
They're orange and
quartered
black.
or half.
But he's got salamanders on one shoulder and he's got a different symbol on the other. So I'm going. It's a custom chapter. You can play whatever.
Yeah.
It looks really good. It's
I
bright.
do like the orange.
We do have a lot of safety orange in our group.
Okay.
Josh has his Necrons. with
That's
safety
true.
orange.
That's true.
And they're both very bright. So I brought Blood Angels versus Aaron and Sky Sun Locke. Both playing Necrons. None of them had a Catan in them.
Nice.
And Sky and I both.
Well, you guys were rocking 1,000 points each, right?
Yeah. And Sky and I each brought a Land Raider Redeemer.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it actually went well. Locke's very knowledgeable.
Locke is 11?
I think so.
I think he's 11. I said this last time he was at a game day. He's super smart. Like, completely understands the rules. Like when Shell was running the Shadows of Brimstone game, he's standing behind her correcting her. He's all, no, actually it's this. And she's like, oh, you're right. It's like he was a super smart kid.
Some of that is to nail his dad, I think.
Sure. But he's also like just so pleasant and nice and just a fun kid to play with.
Unfortunately, he had to learn from Aaron and I being on the same table. Our rule for the game, the twist, I think it's called, is an 18-inch charge, but you get to make your charges on 3d6.
Were you playing with the cards?
Yeah.
The new ones that are like the missions are asymmetrical?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay.
So 2 Necron players against 2 Imperials.
With 18-inch charges.
18-inch charges and Land Raiders.
Out of a Land Raider.
Land Raiders.
My God. So I moved 12 and then I charge up to 18 inches.
Yeah. Turn 1 charge.
Yeah. Well, you think?
Yeah. I only had aggressors inside mine, so it was me about
Is that all?
flaming and shooting. But yeah, turn 1, we were in their lines. And then at the top of their turn, he strategic reserved the Aphelion destroyers, the small ones, 9 inches away from my scout squad in the no man's land.
Okay.
3d6, no problem. Oh, this is where the power of Aaron and I came into effect. He rolled a 7.
Oh, this is Locke.
Yeah, Locke rolled a 7.
Okay.
Then Companion re-rolled into a 6.
On 3 dice.
And then the Marines turned and unloaded on them. Those are gone. It started to swing. We got into them.
This is why you came and blamed Shell, because Shell, for Christmas, we got him Necron dice from Baron of Dice Baron. And he came and told Shell, your dice failed me.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm a Necron player, so I know with the Scorpic destroyers, the glass cannons, you want to assault them first because otherwise you're going to take it in the fist. So I ran right into him, ignored his Necron warriors,
Yeah.
Ignored the destroyers, went right after the guys with the big fist because he didn't have a Catan.
Then he phased out.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, but it was a great game. I'm still, like, I think I'm comfortable with the way I call it, like, 8th edition 40K. Like, the
Except
card
we're playing
mechanics. Well, it's the secondary objectives and the stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Now that's starting to get into my brain to pay more attention to it versus the main objectives and what can hurt me. Now I'm trying to get the total game in because
Gotcha.
I'm starting to get enough reps to really embrace it.
I think this is why I've been enjoying the White Dwarf missions more. Like we play without the cards most of the time with those. You can play with them if you want, but we just play without them. And man, those missions are just awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Like with the special missions and Drunk Commander might be a little bit much, right? Like you can do or.
You're not the first person to say that. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, the nice thing about the game is you can make it as complicated or as straightforward as you want.
Right.
And it could be what's the mood at the moment. So, yeah.
Yep, that's me.
Thom,
Yeah, so I missed out on the last weekend, unfortunately. But then prior to that,
this is not an excuse, but we were actually really bummed that you didn't
you were
show
missed.
up. Yeah.
appreciate that.
sure.
No, I missed out last time, but a couple weeks back we did have that SummerSlam in the High Desert, like I mentioned, where I got to debut my mighty fortress that I had printed and painted for the
You and I
siege battle.
talked about this. Last time we went down there for the game day, we drove back together.
That's right.
And you and I were talking about how you were setting up this, like, you had the fortress in the middle and they were all sieging the fortress and stuff. How did it all play out?
Yeah, the way it worked out was the first mission, we determined who was going to be the attacker and the defender in the fortress for the second mission. Mm-hmm. And then during the second mission, the attackers were doing what they do, sieging the fortress walls there. And then I had a little bit of a surprise, and that's where that Chaos Army, the Wolves of the Sea, came floating up the river of blood. And the Chaos Gods are fickle, so they chose their sides each round, determining who they would attack.
So if you would determine randomly, did the players then get to take control of that army?
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah.
Oh,
So that first time around, when they first came on the board, they were with the attackers and started charging towards the fortress. And then, as I mentioned, the Chaos Gods are fickle, and they changed their tune as they started to see the tide change.
Yeah.
And so it was a bloody mess. And
I heard. So okay, it was you. Who was there?
yeah, we had Travis, Ed, Blake, Josh. And John from down in
And you.
and myself. So 6 players, and we had well over 12,000 points of Old World on the table for that second mission, and we played for about 3 hours.
I
we got
heard
a lot done.
from Ed. I said, "How did the siege go?" He goes, "Nobody broke one wall down. We didn't have the strength to bring them down."
Yeah, they got a little bit distracted with some of the other forces that were outside the walls and tar pitted for the most part, right around the moat. But so no walls went down. The defenders were victorious.
If you had to redesign the mission, would you change anything?
I'm not sure I would entirely change anything. I would just encourage players to bring more siege equipment. I mean, I did give them a siege tower,
Okay.
in order to help with the walls. But if they would have brought any artillery, where it just so happened with the Vampire Count's army, they don't have as much artillery across the undead. So Ed with the Khemri they were starting to hit walls and so forth, but again, they got distracted by the defending forces outside.
The reason I asked that is because I created the mission that Travis and I played through, and it was very like 16-18 or something was the final score. Like I'm always concerned when I create a mission like that. Oh, what if it goes off the rails or it's not as competitive as I thought it was, or balanced as I thought it was? But so far I've had good luck with that.
Yeah, I think for me, the indicator
You have
that it was
years of experience, Thom.
I have played a couple games. That being said, I think what I was really looking for was that the pace would keep up, that nobody was sitting around not doing anything on their turns. And
Gotcha.
with that many models on the table, it can happen. And I felt like that we got a lot of action in the time that we played.
Nice.
That's key.
The second battle I wanted to mention was when we went up or down, I should
Southern
say,
California.
to Southern California to visit Cheyenne, and I got to play against his nasty orc beast snagga mob. It was a bloody affair against my
That's what
world
Jim was
leaders.
doing.
Yeah.
And boy, those guys are tough, but it was a lot of fun. And those squig mounts, whew, nasty.
You guys played a White Dwarf mission for that.
And I was just going to say, yeah, we did play one of the White Dwarf missions where the objectives like start to explode once you have somebody on them for too long. It was really pretty fun.
Yeah, I've really been surprised at how good those missions are, just in terms of fun. Like they're not tournament missions. Like let's be very clear about that, but they are fairly well balanced. So
I thought it was a really well balanced mission. The explosions impacted both Cheyenne and myself throughout the game, and it was a lot of laughs and a lot of good time.
nice. Lars, what have you been up to? You came over game day.
I came over for the game day. That's it. The last couple of weeks. I played a 2 versus 2. It was Adon and I as the Imperium against Jim and Ed's orcs.
with Adon bringing.
He brought I forget what the name of the detachment is, but it's the big Castellax robot.
It's the cybernetic.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he brought Imperial. Adeptus Mechanicus.
Adeptus Mechanicus, yeah.
with all the big robots, and then cheated.
And then cheated. I brought Dark Angels. I had to kind of downsize my 1,500 point list because we were only playing about 1,000 points each. And so I had to kind of pare away some of the heavier stuff. But I like my list, but it has the same problem that elite lists always do. Not many models.
And you played against who?
Orcs. Ed's orcs.
Ed and Jim.
And Jim's orcs. Jim's beast snaggas and Ed's
Just regular orcs.
yeah,
Just regular old
all those
40K
Ed,
orc.
it's Ed style
Goths, I
orcs.
guess.
Ed style. Yeah, Goths. And that was a fun game. It was kind of a learning game for me because when Adon came in, I was like, good, I'm glad you're here because I have to basically relearn all the rules. It's been so long. And he says, oh, well, we're up the creek.
How did I get saddled with you?
No, it was kind of a learning game. Some mistakes were made, but we had a lot of fun. I think the key moment for me was there was a critical point towards the end of the game where the last secondary that we could score on was killing characters. And we had multiple fights going on around orc characters at that point. And I had to make 3 charges against Jim's Beast Snagga boss unit. And it was 9 inches, 9 inches, and 8 inches. And I was like, this is okay. Well, I might get one.
Maybe I'll get one.
Yeah. And it was like I had 2 small units of Ravenwing Knights, and then I had my big hammer, which was the Deathwing Knights led by Belial. And Belial's thing is that he gives any critical hit is precision, so I can just target all,
Allocate them all to
all on the big guy. So I then proceeded to roll a 12, and a 12.
Yeah, I think Adon talked about that.
Everybody said, no way. So everybody got in, and I unloaded everything I had into that unit, and I could not take them down.
Yeah, I heard you didn't. You were completely
It was
ineffective.
just like holy crap, this is my best bet, right? So that's an incredibly tough unit. That was a lot of fun. We did end up losing that game. There was just, yeah. But that was.
Well, you got to meet Jim.
I got to meet Jim, and hopefully I get to play him.
Had you met Brett before? Brett had.
Oh,
come,
yeah.
right? Oh, I thought you had
Ages ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know. Like, I hosted the whole game day. I think we had like 10 or 12 people here, and originally we set these up just to be so that like Travis could play more. I was like, you and I will, and then it became okay, Ed and Blake or whoever, and then I was like, well, let's invite everybody over. Man, I was tired by the end of that
I'll bet
day.
you were.
I was just like, and then the next day I like cleaned everything, and so everything was cleaned up by the morning. But it was just like, I love hosting it. I really do, but it is an effort, especially as we're drawing closer. Next weekend is my anniversary party, and so it's like I got a ton of stuff to get done around the house. Like yesterday, I was repainting walls and stuff. That it's a long story, but let's just say my list of chores that have to be done before the
Next week
thing are like, let's make sure we weed this and weed whack that and paint this wall, and I need this assembled and these all taken out. And I'm all, okay, cool, hon. What are you going to do? I'm going to go out to lunch with the bartender and figure out what the drinks are going to be. I'm like, cool.
Deep research.
Yeah, cool. All right. I'll be painting the walls. Okay. Anyway, all right. So let's do this. We're going to take a short break, then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the setting of Imperium Maledictum a little bit, and we'll kind of explain where this game sits in the menagerie, the
diaspora.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh.
Hey,
That's a word you don't hear very often. It's the word of the episode of all the other role playing games. And after that, then we'll come back and we'll talk about the product presentation and how the quality is, the starter set, the products that they currently have, and where they're headed. So we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So let's talk a little bit about Imperium Maledictum. I spoke at the beginning of the episode, and I talked about how Cubicle 7 did send me a copy of this, which I greatly appreciate. They kind of went above and beyond my expectations with that, which was really nice. That being said, I already own the core rulebook, and so I feel like I'll pass that generosity on to the Patreon at this point. So if you're interested in role-playing games, make a post there. Make sure you reply to that post. I'll give everybody about 3 days to reply to that post. And then I'll do a drawing, and whoever gets it, I'll ship it off to you. Let me be clear. If you're like in Australia or something, I'll just buy the book for you instead, because, man, I'm telling you right now.
Shipping.
Oh my God. Did I tell you guys? So one of our winners of the Hobby Progress Challenge won a Imperium what am I trying to say? Imperial Guard box set.
Oh,
one of these box sets. It's one of the larger.
Force?
It's larger than that. It's like the bigger box. And I took it to UPS. I didn't have a box that size, so I'll get a box at UPS. Oh, all right. Well, I was going to ship this via USPS. What will you guys charge me to ship? And I go, what? I'm sorry, $134.
Oh my God.
No. Oh, $534.
oh dear.
Yeah, that's not happening. So let me see what USPS will ship this thing for. But I've reached out to the person, like he's like, I'll help you pay for it, but I'm not. And I go, no, if it's a ridiculous amount, we'll buy you a gift card and send you a gift card for the equivalent cost, and you can buy then what you want over there, and I'll give this away to somebody else. But I was like, I was like, I'm sorry, what? And then I wanted to, and how I know USP or UPS is way more expensive, because then I was like, we have a box of the speed paints that's got to go off to somebody in the UK. I'm like, okay, well, how much to ship this? I'm like, $180. You're out of your mind. I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
No, I'll go to USPS and ship it out of the postal service. So.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Sometimes UPS is cheaper, but man, not internationally. I'll tell you what. Okay. So anyway, that being the case, if you win this and you're international, we'll figure it out. Okay. So the main rule book. Wait, jumped ahead. Let's talk about the Macharian Sector. Okay. So I'm probably going to do most of the talking here. Feel free to jump in. As we have seen in these other games, such as Dark Heresy and Rogue Trader and Only War and all that, each of them kind of picks their own sector that they're going to participate in. I have set all the games that we're playing in the house in the Calixus? One of the sectors. The sector from Rogue Trader. It's not the Calixus sector. And in retrospect, I'm like, wow, I wish I'd kind of chosen this one from this game, because this is a pretty cool sector too. But whatever, it is what it is. That said, they are kind of plug and play. I mean, like I could run games of Imperium Maledictum in the Calixus sector or wherever I wanted to. Okay. But the Macharian Sector is a sector of space where Lord Solar Macarius went and ran his crusade through there. They captured like 1,000 worlds before he died. The crusade seemed to run out of steam, and then, and I'm paraphrasing for all those people who are going to correct me from the Imperial Guard Codex, but the crusade kind of runs out of steam. Macarius has to then, the troops are exhausted. It's after like, I think 7 or 8 years of crusading. And they begin to start losing some battles. They have to kind of retreat from the crusade itself and say, okay, we've freed or destroyed X number of worlds, and now this is where it is, and he dies. Then the only thing he didn't do right, and he was like a general, like he was made, over all forces in
he was a war master.
Yeah, effectively, and he was elevated to general like in his early 20s. Like he was that brilliant, right? And great oratory speaker and whatnot. But the only thing they say he didn't do right was figure out his succession plan, because then you had like 5 other generals who were all vying for succession. This ends up leading to something called the Macharian heresy or something like that, where all these generals kind of try to take their own areas and say, oh, well, I deserve this spot because I fought and died for it and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Eventually, the administratum sends in Space Marines, and this goes on for 8 to 10 years before finally it's kind of brought under control.
Yeah, he's Alexander the Great.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like the successors to Alexander.
Yeah, that's actually a really great comparison. That's a good point, Steve.
Including the attempted undercover assassination attempt.
Yeah,
right? That's the whole deal.
It's actually a nice comparison, or inspiration. Then the Cicatrix Maledictum rips the galaxy in half. This area gets hit pretty hard, where there's kind of like an oversplash, if you will, of chaos that then slowly retreats a little bit until the Cicatrix Maledictum kind of establishes itself. So you have worlds that were kind of thrown into chaos, but now have been a little bit released. Some of them are still in the throes of chaos. But it makes for a pretty interesting setting overall, especially for this game. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So this game, it's to Dungeons and Dragons what Call of Cthulhu is to Dungeons and Dragons, in the sense that the focus of the game is not really action. Not to say there's not action in it.
Right.
But the focus of the game is investigation, political intrigue, that kind of thing. And so in that regard, you have different factions that they set up, whether they're noble houses or whatever. The Adeptus Administratum, Ecclesiarch. Yeah. You have all that, the Inquisition. And then you have, your patron as well. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But as you go through this game, or you're playing through this game, you can increase your renown with certain factions, decrease renown with other factions. And ideally, I think a good GM would run and create adventures that allow you to make difficult choices.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do well by these guys, but these guys are going to get mad at us if we do this.
Yeah.
And so this setting is made to kind of, it's not made for you to play Space Marines. It's not made for you to, it's low combat, high narrative tension, high drama, that kind of thing.
Interpersonal.
Steve, you talked about this being like, you thought it was Dark Heresy 3.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
I would say it is like to a degree.
Yeah, I think they kind of set themselves up to kind of go a couple different directions, or like if they had to do Dark Heresy again, not have the power creep that the old books did, right? They just ramped up, and like our Road Trader was 5 times as powerful as your.
So you're comparing like the games that came out from Fantasy Flight, originally from Black Library Industries, but Fantasy Flight were Dark Heresy, Rogue Trader, Only War, Black Crusade,
Death Watch.
Yeah, there was a Grey Knight one in there.
Grey Knights were in Death Watch.
Okay. Yeah, but it's the same mechanics. I mean, a lot of the same rules.
I like Grey Knights were in Dark Heresy eventually. Yeah.
Right. It's the percentile D100 system. A lot of it's familiar.
But what do you, so you mean like the settings ramped up in power?
Right.
Okay.
Like each book became like an order. Like you couldn't play my 3rd level character for Dark Heresy in even Only War or the other ones because they were just not balanced.
Okay.
Like they didn't plan the game
to be interactive.
Right.
Although they used roughly the same system.
Right.
You could. There were some guidance. There was some guidance around like, well, rogue trader characters are about 5th level of Dark Heresy characters, right? So, but it's kludgy.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
It was afterthought.
Yeah.
Right. And so this one, I kind of hope it was clean that up. And also right now, at least, just keeping Space Marines out of it.
Yeah, I don't want to.
It's
not as a player.
It's such a huge jump. It's just not real.
Yeah. I think this is the wrong setting for it. So let's talk a little bit about where this sits. So the interesting thing was Wrath and Glory was acquired by Cubicle 7. Wrath and Glory was a Kickstarter initially. Myself, Doug, backed it a tremendous amount. We played it once and we were like, this is terrible. It was like nothing was balanced correctly. Everything was all over the board. It was just not an enjoyable system. I have heard that they have since cleaned it up. Like Cubicle 7 actually puts out pretty solid games.
Yeah.
Tom, they put out Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay.
Yep. Yeah, they've Cubicle 7's been around, for a good, 15, 16 years, and they've always had great quality products. And as far as touching on this IP with the Warhammer universe, I think they've done a great job with Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and now the opportunity I had to play this one today, I think is pretty tight.
You can see the similarities in some of the engine behind it. Mm-hmm. So one of the things is, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, Steve, was I got the core rulebook, I read it, and I'm like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to play this. Like mechanically, I get it, but like I don't understand what they're going for. Like, are we supposed to be Inquisitor people? Are we supposed to be this? Are we supposed to be that? Like, Dark Heresy was so like specific. It was like you are agents of the Inquisition. You're not an Inquisitor. You're not an interrogator. You are, you're
their agents.
Yeah, you're their agents, and Rogue Trader was very specific. You're a Rogue Trader and his crew. Here's what you do. This was like, you could take these patrons and they could be a Rogue Trader, they could be a Ministratum, they could be ecclesiarchy, they could be an Inquisitor. And I'm like, what are they? I don't understand.
Like, how do you put this all together?
Yeah, how do you put it all together? That's a great point. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I was kind of going for. And so it wasn't until I got the basic set that it was like, oh, okay, so here's where this sits. The basic set has you working for an Inquisitor. You are, much like Dark Heresy, agents of the Inquisition working for your patron, who in this case is an Inquisitor. That's not to say you can't use this book to say, I want to play a Rogue Trader type game. Our patron is a Rogue Trader, and we all work for him. We are not the Rogue Trader himself, but we work for the Rogue Trader going off and doing missions as we get to planets or whatever. What they've created is a toolbox for you to build the game that you want to play. But what's interesting about that is if we're all playing in it, we have to decide, and if I'm the GM, we have to decide like, this is the kind of game we want to play. And what that informs you of is, here's the kind of patron we want to work for. So if you want to play an inquisitorial type game, well, I will probably, we together as a group will make make the patron of the game. This is the person that has pulled you out of the drudgery of normal, terrible existence in Warhammer 40K and put you in a worse existence of 40K in fighting heretics or Xenos or whatever the case may be. And so together you create a patron, you create who your boss is effectively, and say, okay, here's the person or man or woman that we are going to have give us these missions. And that gives you certain benefits. Like the way the patron is almost created like a character, but they offer the group different benefits based on where they come from, what their role is, etc. So an inquisitorial patron may be able to get you assistance on a planet, or, hey, you can go and stay in a hostel that he happens to run as a cover on this planet or something along those lines. If you were playing for a Rogue Trader, it's going to be an entirely different experience where it's like we're involved in trading and bartering or going out to the edges of the known area and
you're not
exploring.
In one place.
Right. Yep. But effectively, you could run the game Rogue Trader using these rules. You can run the game Only War using these rules, and you could run the game Dark Heresy using these rules. You could not run
Black Crusade
or
Death Watch.
Death Watch using these rules, which is good. This is supposed to be low level and gritty.
It's supposed to be humans.
Where Wrath and Glory, the other game that Cubicle 7 produces for 40K, which I was like, why are they producing Imperium Maledictum when they already have Wrath and Glory? That's more combat oriented and Dungeons and Dragons in space, in the sense that like Dungeons and Dragons tends to be built around let's go have conflict. Yeah. Whereas this is more investigation, discovery, political conflict, and then some combat. Although combat's really dangerous.
That intrigue between the factions.
Yeah.
Is really, really heavy here, which was great.
Which is good, as it should be.
Yeah. So, okay. Core mechanics.
The core mechanics are clearly stemming from the Warhammer Fantasy roleplay game.
Yep.
It's very, very similar. I mean, fate points and the percentile system all came back from 35 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's the same tree that this one is growing off of, and this branch is pretty tight. I think that they did a nice job.
I think it's from a new player standpoint. If you're wondering if you should pick it up, it's like mechanically, if you've played Call of Cthulhu or Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, you will have no problems identifying the structure of the game mechanics.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very, very easy to pick up if you know those things.
There are layers on top of it, like the patron system, the faction stuff, like all that is very cleverly tied into it. It does. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is you're creating a character. You can randomly generate everything for the character if you want, including where they come from, what class you're playing, et cetera, et cetera. And if you do that, you get initial experience points up front that allow you to make your character more effective. But we played today with just the pre-generated characters from the basic box. But when you're creating your own character, you can choose or randomize as much of that character creation as you want. The more you randomize, the more experience points you get up front, because experience points are used to basically buy additional skills and buy additional talents.
Those advances.
Yeah. I agree with you, Lars. The D100 system is fairly straightforward. I have a 65% skill in this. Well, I roll dice. If I roll 65% or lower, I succeed. That's all adjusted by various things. We've seen in Dungeons and Dragons, we've seen in 5th edition, advantage and disadvantage was a mechanic added. A lot of games have introduced that. Here they introduced that as well, where advantage is. Oh, and this is the other point we should make. The only thing you need are 2d10 to play this.
That's true. Yeah, it's just percentiles. You don't.
There's
have
not
a whole suite of dice.
Yeah, all damage is. There's not randomized damage.
It's all fixed.
If I fire a
Stub pistol,
it does 6 plus the number of success levels I get in damage, and that's it.
I think success levels is probably one of the areas where it's, they've enhanced that mechanic even further.
You want to talk about what that means?
Yeah, success levels essentially when, say, my skill for
picking locks
in this case, we'll say is 35, and I roll a 15. So that's a success because I rolled underneath my score. Now, but how much of a success is it? Well, that's where these success levels come in. So in this case, since my score is a 35 normally, and I rolled a 15, you subtract the tens place. So the 3 subtract 1, I have 2 success levels.
Yeah, which is a significantly better success than just your average. Yeah, okay, successfully picked the lock. I don't know how that would translate into future endeavors or whatever. You pick the lock with gusto.
Yeah, you pick the lock and you determine there's also a trap on the door,
or maybe you do it fast. Yeah, as Steve just said.
Yep.
So and that's kind of and then also you have negative success levels where you fail, and you can fail by a significant amount, causing problems like Pages to get blown out the door of a train.
Storm record, administratum records.
But those success levels are things that you can also start to build in any given encounter. Like if you prepare for the check you're going to make, say you in this case
You ambush somebody.
Yeah, that's the best
an
example.
ambush scenario is probably is a great example in that you find a good spot to hide. You know you can funnel your enemy through a particular hallway.
Yeah.
You make some preparatory actions before you actually start the actions, and you'll be able to add success levels to build upon.
This is a really interesting mechanic, and one that doesn't exist in like Call of Cthulhu that I kind of dig, and I kind of might even introduce into my Call of Cthulhu games. The way it works is basically it's called superiority.
Superiority, yeah.
And what it means is the party what it encourages is for you to learn about what you're going to do before you just jump in and go do it.
Right.
So take, for example, the aforementioned Steve mentioned the ambush. There's 3 things that you consider during superiority, gaining superiority. And they call it know thy foe. So if you research important information about your enemy, so maybe you guys know, look, the enemy is going to be coming into this area. They only have pistols. We have long range weapons. We should take advantage of that. Okay, so you know that this gang only uses pistols or something. Know your battlefield, as you mentioned. Okay, we know that they're going to come down this hallway or this area, so we're able to set up boxes in advance and prepare ourselves. That's another superiority level. And then the third is know thy players, reward player ingenuity. Maybe the players do something very clever that you didn't anticipate. Like maybe they set red barrels that explode, in the area where the enemy is going to be. And what this does is for each of those, you automatically gain a success level, or really like a +10 to your to the chance, or -10 in this case. Yeah. So what that means is, let's say all 3 of these things are in play in the scenario I just described. That means everybody in the party gains +3 success levels during that combat, which is significant. So you've you've laid a trap for the opponent, and that is represented by the more likely success of any action that you're taking. And there's ways that you can lose this. The first time a party member receives a critical wound, which means they've lost all their hit points, and then they start taking a critical wound. If a party member is defeated, or if the party's taken by surprise by unexpected reinforcements or sudden change in the battlefield, an earthquake, or I don't know. For example, something changes the fundamental state of the battlefield, then you will lose success levels. But it's a really fascinating thing, because one of the things I've always thought of in Call of Cthulhu is, we're going to lay an ambush. Okay, but you still got to roll your weapon skill. Here you actually are rolling it, but you have a bonus.
Yeah.
Which
it reminded
really
me a lot about actually another game that Cubicle 7 has published in the past with Fate, with the keywords you have in any given location or setting. And what it does is it encourages players to be creative about what they're doing. Instead of, like you said, look before you leap, if you will.
Right.
Prepare before you actually go into the encounter or go into the actual action there.
Yeah.
And it rewards players for actually thinking about what they're going to do before they just jump into it.
Take, for example, in the adventure we just played, when you guys got into the combat with the gang members at one point, there was a chance for you to gain superiority by, before engaging with the gang members, just like listening to the 2 guards as they complained about how many guys were in the building and they were on shift too long. And, and you learn okay, there's only this many guys in there. And so we now know. And they were frustrated with some stuff. So you're like, okay.
Play off that.
Yeah, you can play off of that, which is really, I think it's one of the most clever rules that they've introduced to the system. Agreed. I really, really enjoy that.
I think it does put a lot more planning overhead on the person running.
It does.
Because now it's not just, I'm going to have a random encounter with 10 skeletons. Now it's like you actually have to
You have to have
make things available.
But I think that's fairly true for most investigation games.
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu in particular, like you can't just like go, hey, let's play Call of Cthulhu. I'll make it up as we go. You can, but it's a very unrewarding experience.
It becomes very combat very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's a valid point though, Steve. It does put, we compared it to the Blade Runner game that we were playing. That game produces such top quality content at an adventure level.
Literally material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High quality.
That I was like, I don't know that I could run this game as good as the adventure that you buy is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was talking about, I deviated, but I was talking about advantage and disadvantage. The way they work that here is you're rolling 2d10 for everything, D100. So for advantage, if you have advantage for some reason, you can reverse the dice if you want. Meaning if I roll a 72 and that's going to fail, but I have advantage, I can now call that a 27 and I succeed. Disadvantage, I must rotate those to the worst number. So the only way that you're really saved from disadvantage is by rolling very low. And then critical hits are on any doubles that's a success, and critical misses or fumbles are on any doubles that are a failure. So yeah, that happens.
Once or twice.
As it turns.
But I mean, it's a fairly fluid system. And as we started playing it and started getting into it, I was like, oh, this is moving along, quite, even our first combat, which was clunky because we were, okay, well, how does this work? And I knew the basics of it, but then when you actually put the pedal to the metal, we had to stop and kind of look at a few things. But I mean, I think if I were to run the next combat, I'd have a very much better experience with that. Okay, speaking of combat. So as I was reading the rules, there's a major shift here in comparisons to things like Dungeons and Dragons. In D&D, for those who don't play D&D, which if you're listening to this and you're interested in RPGs and you haven't played D&D, it actually kind of surprised me. But in D&D, everything is done on a grid base, meaning you have squares. You can move 30 feet. You measure that 30 feet. You then attack, whatever you want to do. This game has two options. The first being this thing called like zone-based combat. And at first I was like, I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want anything to do with that. Like, I want to give me my grids.
Yeah.
And they actually provide rules for the grid stuff too. They're like, okay, but if you want to do that, here's how you do it. It's fine. It works just like you would expect. The zone combat is really, really interesting in the sense that what you do is you take a battlefield and you kind of divide it up into zones. And these zones are maybe 10 meters to 20 meters around, it's vague. They give an example in the rule book that shows like, okay, you have this area behind a door and everything behind the door is kind of in dim light, and that's zone 1. And then you have zone 2, which is the area kind of just outside the door. And then there's like a bridge across water to another area, and that's zone 3. And so what happens is, that's not to say that you're not moving around in that zone. You are. You're like, oh, there's crates in zone 3. Well, I'm going to be behind these crates over in zone 3. Okay, great. I'm shooting into zone 2. I can see this area where this guy's in zone 2. I shoot at him. Okay, the distance to zone 2, because you're distant away, that's short, or medium range because it's one zone away. Okay, cool. Yeah, depending on the weapon you're using. That's medium range, so go ahead and make your attack. Okay, I shoot him. Okay, you shoot this guy. I want to move to that zone and then shoot in through the doorway. Well, okay, so you move to that zone, so that's your move, and then I want to shoot, and you're taking your action to shoot in the doorway. Well, it's dark in the doorway, so you're at disadvantage shooting into the doorway, and you can create these environmental effects in each zone. Zones can be horizontal, vertical, so you can create fairly elaborate things without the encumbrance of well, I'm going to move 30 feet and now I'm going to do this. It's interesting. It's kind of between theater of the mind and tactical combat on the thing, but it does have a tactical element to it. Like in zone 1, I'm going to place, these crates that people can hide behind and tables that they can flip over and use for combat. In zone 2, it's no man's land. There's nothing there to cover you, good luck, and in zone 3, well, they have barricades that they're behind.
They each have a theme.
Essentially, it's very similar again to like the fate system with the range bands, where each of these different zones you can now have a different superiority level as well. So it kind of sets it's that keyword sort of a thing where say it's dim light or
Exactly.
we've established a cover with the crates like you were saying, so we get some superiority level in this zone. Maybe we don't get that same one in another zone that's within the combat.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I noticed in general you're going to have a split when it comes to RPGs. And like in fantasy RPGs, they tend to be more heavily tactical, right? Because most things that happen in close range. Science fiction RPGs, I feel like it's kind of a blind spot because they all tend to abstract combat, if anything, too much. Starfinder was different.
Starfinder was Pathfinder in space.
Right. I mean, they just took the rules and ported them over. But other games like Traveler, combat's kind of wishy-washy. It is.
Traveler's all range bands.
It's range bands as well. And then Kevin Crawford, Stars Without Number. It's also much more heavily. You either have to either have to build a Warhammer table.
Yeah.
Right. And make a big skirmish out of it, or you have to just fully abstract it.
Yeah.
This is a nice middle zone.
Yeah.
I like that.
I actually, again, I was anti-zone combat, at the start. But then as I read it and I thought about it more, I was like, you know what? This is a really cool idea. Like, it just makes sense. Like, in the fight that we had, there was a warehouse that had different zones within it and with different, shelving and tables and dim light in one area. And I thought, oh, what an interesting idea. It just makes it fairly straightforward and everybody kind of I know where I'm standing, and
less time focusing on pre-measuring ranges, and more time focusing on
just
how can I interact with this space.
I wonder if they got that from a lot of board games use that mechanic. Use zones for combat.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Death May Die, Imperial Assault.
What's the one that they just sold? That Simon just sold. The zombie one.
Oh, Zombicide?
Yeah.
It's
very similar.
Very similar to that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Darkest Dungeon.
So what do you guys think about, admittedly we've played, 5 hours or so. Like, what did you think about how the game plays on the tabletop? Lars?
I liked it. I would say it is more Call of Cthulhu than it is Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay because of the investigation angle and the fact that you can get into a combat, but there's it's going to be very consequential one way or the other. I like the idea that you have to think about. We had to spend a lot of time thinking about factions when we were doing our investigations. Like, we can do this, but if we do that, that might be tipping our hand because we're part of this secret inquisitorial investigation. We don't want to.
You were all fired up to use the inquisitorial rosette.
I wanted to use it at the place where.
Was it you or was it Thom?
Lars wanted Thom to use it.
Oh, that's right.
I
wanted him to use it.
Because there was consequences if we didn't use it correctly.
Right.
Yeah, because you could expose the Inquisition on the planet for something minor like, I don't want to wait in line.
Right, exactly.
Although you did spend about an hour and a half in line during this game.
I thought that was brilliant.
If we got experience for waiting in line, we would have leveled.
We did.
That would be the most administrative thing ever.
Yeah.
Steve, what are your thoughts on how it played on tabletop? This is your second go around with it.
Yeah, because Adepticon. I love the zones thing. It made in this game we didn't have the pursuit rules. Adepticon we did.
Yeah, we didn't get to that point.
But it's not. I run 7 meters. You run 9 meters. It's like you're in the zone. It's fine. Crossing zones, like okay, you just got.
I move from one zone to another. That's what I can do in my turn.
Yeah. I like that guns don't have your success level is your bonus to damage. It's not the gun's 2 dice 6.
Right.
It just does it. First time using the psychic powers in the Adepticon game, we didn't have a psyker.
You played a psyker in our game.
Yeah. Because I like to try out the new mechanics. I liked it. There is a risk. I did a little bit more damage than a gun. but
Yeah.
there's a chance I could, cause problems.
Yeah. It's interesting. The psychic stuff, every psychic ability is kind of a spell, effectively, if you're comparing it to D&D. But not only do you have to roll for success on it, once you do, you start building up like a psychic charge, like a warp charge. And once you exceed a certain amount based on your character, that's when Perils of the Warp happens.
Can happen,
Yeah. They also have psyker versus psyker combat. Like you can deny the witch and stuff.
Yeah, my character actually has a bonus to it. We just didn't get that far. But yeah, it doesn't slow down the game too much.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I think as you learn it more, like it would become more natural. And like I felt like we were becoming more natural at it pretty quickly.
I think if we were in a campaign, then I would have printed my spells.
For sure.
Because like flipping through the book, I guess this is the con things later, but I would have tabbed the pages to be able to jump around, to be a little, just more efficient with it.
Or you just make cards or something.
Yeah, something. But yeah, I enjoyed the combat. I enjoyed moving around. In the Adepticon game, we ended up finding cult. Do you see our cult guys? They move really fast and hit really hard. Yeah, we were a bunch of non-combat characters here.
Oh dear.
So yeah, we were trying to avoid the combat, but at a certain point wanted to get in a little bit of combat. So we leaned into it a bit. Yeah, I liked it.
Okay, Thom, what are your thoughts?
I think they've taken a lot of the classic mechanics and some some newer ideas and they've mashed them together and they did a great job. Overall, I had never actually looked at the rules before we played today. So like I mentioned, some of the familiarity from other games made it easy to pick up.
That's what what I thought you would think. I kind of didn't want you to read the rules because I wanted you to. I was curious if you surmise certain things. Oh, this will probably work like this.
Yeah, no, and there's bits and pieces even from like Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 3, the Fantasy Flight did. There's little mechanics that they've pulled in here that they mesh together well. And I like Steve mentioned, I didn't have a hard time finding what I needed either when I was looking up the rule.
Yeah, we were like I think the system is open enough that's like I think more seasoned players like, hey, this isn't the only way to ask a question of an NPC. You could use the logic skill, you can use the intrigue skill. Like it kind of lets you more open about approaching it.
Yeah, some NPCs would be more open to different types of approaches. For example, you were, Lars, dealing with the Adeptus Mechanicus guy. And it was like, oh, you can try to charm him. I'm like, no, wait a minute. Like, logic would work better with this guy.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And the game kind of leads into that. Like there's not one stat and one communication skill that kind of drives everything. It's not just charisma.
Right.
Like
That's a good point.
Will plus to head into the rapport with communication, fellowship. And then there was like persuasion, which is a different skill and a different stat. So you can have a variety of characters who can still do things without having to have the cleric, having to have the mage. And
yeah, I mean, you said you were non-combat guys, but you could still dish out damage. I mean,
Yeah, theoretically.
yeah,
Never hit anything.
you roll terrible. I do feel like whenever we play percentage games, I'm like, why am I rolling 90s all the time?
Suddenly.
When I finally want to roll low.
Right. Wait, you want me to roll low?
I'm going to roll high.
Want me to roll high? 10s.
Yeah, I mean, like, Steve, we've been talking about setting up this Traveler campaign, and then I got into this game, and I was like, oh man, maybe we should have played this as a campaign instead. I'm really torn, honestly. Like the Traveler campaign we're thinking about is pretty interesting, but this game is really, for a game I dismissed initially, and I was like, really, why do you need this? And now I'm suddenly like, oh man, I really like this.
Yeah.
This is really cool. Yeah, I think the starter set helped set me on the right path. The adventure, okay, so the starter set, comes with an adventure in it. Recently, Lars and Steve and our friend Jamie, we played through the Starfinder starter set.
Yeah.
We've been kind of doing this thing where like we have a lot of different role-playing games that we've never played. We're like, maybe we should try some of these instead of just accumulating a library of stuff we're never going to use.
Yep.
And so we played through the Starfinder starter set. If I look back at my old days of D&D, B2.
Keep on the
Chaos.
Borderlands.
Keep on the Borderlands.
It is Gary Gygax's birthday today.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. So Keep on the Borderlands is such a fascinating module and starter module for a starter set in a way that
Perfect. Yeah.
it is perfection. And I didn't appreciate it when I was younger.
Right.
But like it gives you an area around, it gives you a little dungeon to explore. And if you look at it, you can just build upon it easily. Starfinder, the starting scenario for it was very much like you start here at the beginning of the dungeon, and then it walked you through different encounters, but they were you didn't have a lot of variation.
It was paint by
railroad.
numbers.
Yeah.
It was paint by numbers.
You can go
You're gonna
left here
explore
and you
these-
can go right here, and you'll have a different encounter going left and right. But then those two corridors meet up, and
So Pathfinder First Edition had this thing called the Pathfinder Beginner's Box.
Okay.
It was the same sort of thing. It was an introductory set,
But it's just a dungeon.
and it's a dungeon, it wasn't quite the same layout, but it was like, okay, there's a cave entrance. It's protected by something that's hiding behind curtains or behind vines in the case of the Pathfinder one. And it was like
Starfinder
it
was
was
literally behind
all the
curtains.
same encounters. Oh, and here's a fork in the road. You can go left or right.
Right.
They both go to the same place, right?
Okay.
And you
So-
get different encounters, and
So yeah, I felt like that was definitely like a beginner's.
That's teach
box
you
RPG.
mechanics.
I have not played an RPG before.
Yeah, that's a mechanics starter,
Yes.
not a environment world.
Right.
not a seed for a campaign.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Minds of Fendelver, the D&D intro thing, kind of sits between the two.
Yeah.
Right. There is a walking across, and then you encounter something, and then you go into a town, and there's a little bit of investigation into the town, and then you go into the dungeon.
So the interesting thing in this set is, and I'll go more into detail about that later, but this is a full-on adventure. Like it's got a storyline that you're going through. It not only walks you through the mechanics of each encounter, like very, very clearly. It's like the players can do this and this and this. And then there's even a blurb that says, bear in mind, players may do something you don't expect. That's okay.
we
Let
will.
them go with it. Yeah, you guys did. That's okay. Let them go with it and, steer this in this direction, blah, blah, blah. But not only is it's not just one encounter after another. You guys can choose wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do. But
a little more sandboxy.
it also describes the environment. So you get an example of the feeling of the environment and this kind of thing. And it does ease you into the universe as a whole of 40K.
Yeah.
So I think in that regard, like this adventure, when I proposed, hey, let's play this, I felt like, maybe we could do some one play session. That was very, very optimistic of me.
Always take the over.
This is probably 3 more play sessions to wrap up. But but I knew we would get like a feel for what we were going for. And all of us are 40K aficionados to a degree. So it's like we understand conceptually what you're going for. We've all played Necromunda. We get it, So yeah. I mean, I think as far as the starter goes, it's like it is a good launch point for a game. It does give you like I think 6 pre-generated
6 pre-gens,
to choose from.
Pre-gens, 'cause they're cool.
They're all very cool. Like the fold outs are cool for them. We obviously only chose
They're
3.
far more detailed than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Like my character, like I played the Psyker. It talks about her relationships with the other NPCs, but not all of them.
Right.
She didn't give me something for everybody.
Right.
But half of them. And here's how she thinks and what is she afraid of. And like that's pretty deep for a starter character.
A couple typos in them, like skills that you shouldn't be able to have specifically. Your psyker.
Yeah, like
we found a couple errors on them.
Yeah, a couple of them.
But that's okay. I mean, I think like the quality of them is good. The artwork is good.
Yep.
The game, like the other thing it does in the mission, in the adventure that it sets forth, is it says, your character, Lars, was Cassius.
Cassium. Yep.
Cassium.
Calibus.
Like it says at one point, if Cassium is with the party, they get this benefit, which I think is really interesting in terms of all adventure design.
Yeah.
like make everybody have a moment that they're important.
They're going to be key for.
Where they get a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Or at least be, part of the story.
And it's more than once in the adventure. Like every time it's like, oh, if this person or this person's with it, they can do this. They get this reaction from the NPCs or, So I found that to be a really nice intro scenario. And I'd love to keep playing it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, same. I thought that it did not feel like a railroad.
It was not.
We know that there's 3 days.
You guys immediately went off.
We went on the railroad somewhere else.
Yeah. And it's 3 days for an update with progress, by the way, not 3 days till the.
No, no. It's just other than the sense of time.
Your Inquisitor puts some time frame on this. He's like, I'm going to check. I want to check in 3 days, and there better be progress.
Yeah, and how much money you spent over the course of those 3 days.
But we're also, I think, we've played, whether it's Warhammer Fantasy or Dark Heresy, that this style of game is not forgiving to splitting up the party. Like if we all went in a different direction by ourselves.
But you did split up the party.
We did 2 and 1 because Thom was in line. For 3 hours. Yeah. We said, we're going to go get some burgers.
Thank you.
Because of a critical success for the administratum role.
That's right. Yeah.
We're going to go to White Castle and get some food. But generally, you wouldn't like the maglev system's an interesting mechanic because it's kind of a scaled up zone. Mm-hmm. Everything's an hour away, so you're committing time,
correct,
up and back, or to meet somebody, and you don't have planet wide communication.
Right.
We played a little bit with our
Vox speeds.
Your Vox speeds work really far,
kilometers.
Yeah,
but not planet. Right. But a maglev distance away, right? And so we started doing something else, and Thom could come catch up to us, or we could come back in time, but not. You're still operating in a time window to not go down side quest hell
in this particular mission.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we started to. Maybe they should. Hey, the first thing we do is like, here's a rough digital map of the planet. Or
let me put it this way: like every decision you guys made, like you were like, well, let's go investigate this, let's go investigate that. Like it accounted for. Mm-hmm. Like it was like, okay, I think your first thing was, well, we want to find out where this destroyed factory is. Okay, let's go to the administratum, building. Maybe they can. Well, this hive city has 20 billion people in it.
Right.
Not every administratum building's like networked together. And if they do, they have old, outdated information.
Yep.
And
but if we didn't have Thomas, our administratum character, and we had the Arbites, we would have gone to the police station.
Right.
Exactly. We were trying to lean into our backgrounds.
No, I think that was really smart, and it all came together. And you approached things. It was interesting because you would approach things faster than I expected sometimes, and slower than I expected other times. Yeah. And it was like, oh, okay, well, this is, but all of them are valuable in different ways. So it's a pretty great starting adventure. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back. I want to talk about the quality of the product, what you get with each product, what's coming, and then we'll kind of give our final kind of thoughts here. Okay, so we'll be right back.
Sorry I'm late, guys. I just finished a tank weathering class with Justin from
Hey, Travis, that's great. But Blake and I came up with the greatest event ever.
Really? I'm all ears.
All right, tell him, Ed. But start with the best part.
Okay, it's a 40K GT, and the best part is it takes place on the beach.
But
I know what you're going to say. How can you enjoy the beach when you're playing all day long? Here's the best part. It's only 2 leisurely 3.5-hour matches per day.
Yes, but
let me stop you right there, Travis. The best part is this is an all-inclusive 4-day, 3-night retreat with lodging and 10 meals included for only $400.
I know, because
I haven't got to the best part yet, Travis. The best part is it's in Hawaii.
Guys, that's great, but it's already being done.
Really?
Yes. War on the Shore is a GT that takes place from January 8th to the 11th in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. and it incorporates everything you've already said. But you want to know what the best part is?
What?
It's for charity.
For more information, head to tablewarcharities.org/events and aloha.
All right, and we're back. So I want to talk about what's available for this game, what our thoughts are on the quality, that kind of thing. So first off, main rule book.
It's robust.
Yes.
It is heavy. It clocks in at around 360 something pages. There is a significant portion of it which deals with explaining like the Imperium and what that means and what their kind of stances are. And then there's a huge portion of it as well that talks about the Macharian Sector and how it relates to the Imperium in various areas. The rules themselves, like the actual play rules, are not very, it's not a lot of pages. Because once you I'd say the largest portion is around patron creation, character creation, and then, there's skills and
Patron and influence.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah. And then there's the skills section and the
Talents. Yeah.
talents and warp charges.
Yeah.
I mean, all that takes a significant amount. And
The
that is
magic section.
That is rules, but like the rules for actually playing the game are not that heavy. Like I was actually surprised that like once you have your character created and you have everything on your character sheet, you really don't need to go back and reference that stuff.
For the players, not much.
For the players,
That's all.
I was going to say, it sounded like with the starter set itself, they didn't give you the full rule book.
No, I'll
But they
talk
gave
about
you
that in a second too.
cards,
Yeah, just
right?
cards. And it's like 8 or 10 cards, and those cards carry all the rules you need
Yeah,
to
the
play.
actual mechanics to play. Maybe not all the tables.
I kind of wish it was a
Also-
booklet, to be honest with you.
On the character sheets, there's like a little blurb left side.
Yeah, there is.
Blurb.
This is
Those are
again
things
this
you can do.
This came with the
kind of rules.
basic
Yeah,
set.
with the
So let's
basic
talk
set.
about the main rule
Oh,
book
the main
before we
rule book, yeah.
go into the basic set. The writing is good in it. I haven't found any like errors or
I wish
mistakes.
the index in the back actually had the page entry for where equipment starts.
Oh,
Then
I
again-
was going to say the glossary in the back is pretty good.
Then again, I'm a huge fan of tabbing my books.
Yeah.
Or having colors in the corner to separate sections so it's easier to jump to a section.
Yeah.
Like, I do that to a lot of my books that I can just jump.
You know, it's funny.
and navigate.
I do like books that like do that where they kind of tab the edge
Right.
of colors. Is that what you're
Colors
talking
or
about?
something.
Yeah, I do like that.
Or giving you the tails.
Go ahead, Lars. You were
I
going
was
to
going to say, well, yeah, one thing I like about this book is that there's a lot of, yes, the mechanical part, there's not a whole lot. The psychic part, there's a fair amount of, but it's not just page after page of pictures.
It's not.
Unlike another game company that I won't name here, but makes a lot of grimdark games that we all know and love. I got so tired of looking through my 40K rule book the other day that I went through with a razor blade and I cut out the part of the rule book that had the core rules.
Oh, just the core rules.
And it was like 30 pages.
Yeah, I have the small version.
That's why we got the A4 book.
I don't have one of those. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to, yeah.
One thing they do use liberally in this game, though, especially in the rules section of the game, like the how to play section, is they have a lot of sidebars. And in the sidebars, they will tell you, for example, here's an entry on cargo haulers, motorbikes, etc. It says vehicles can have the speed or swift, meaning they can travel up to 3 zones in their move. Crew always includes the driver. And then it'll tell you the hit locations table is on page 211.
Yeah.
So like there's always like a relevant reference in the sidebars. I was really impressed. That's
nice.
Like here under, the zones, like this is a hazard zone. Manifest is on page 161. Warp charge is on 163. Anytime they reference something that goes back to a core rule, they tell you where that core rule is so that you can just go right back to it. It does do some back and forth flipping though, Steve.
Yeah, but in a PDF, that would be click and you're there.
Oh yeah, that'd
Right.
be nice.
Like an actual usable PDF.
By the way, if you buy these from Cubicle 7, you get a PDF for it.
Ooh.
Very good.
I might have to go.
Duly
Look. I
noted.
don't think I got that with mine,
which is nice.
but mine was a long. I think I did the Kickstarter or pre-release. It was a long time
If you
ago.
buy these books from Cubicle 7, it comes with a PDF now, just like Chaosium does for
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu.
Nice.
I think the artwork in the book is incredible. I think it's super thematic and super representative of the 40K universe. I mean, some of the pictures I like better than others, but that's art, you know. But I mean, overall, the style of it. Again, not super sold on the name of the game.
it's
It's a mouthful.
it was created separate from the game.
Oh, was it?
No, that's what it feels like.
yeah.
Like we're not in the Cicatrix Maledictum. It's Imperium Maledictum. I'm like, it doesn't tell
I'm
me
curious.
about the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Right.
Dungeons and Dragons is probably one of the best names for a game ever, right? I mean,
It gets the point
what's this
across.
game about? Let me tell you.
Eventually, dragons.
Yeah.
You'll play for 2 years before you can. But
I think Dark Heresy was a pretty evocative.
Focused?
Only War, pretty evocative. You know, Rogue Trader. What's this about? Space Marines. What? No. You know, I mean, those titles were really quite good. By the way, Cubicle 7 owns the rights to those games.
Oh, okay.
So they publish those as well.
Were all those previously published by
Fantasy Flight.
And then was it Black Industries?
First initially is Black Industries.
yeah, I mean, it could be that, like we talked about earlier, is Tom's buzzword. This was a diaspora, or it's a platform book. Like
It
this is where
absolutely
they're
is.
starting, so they needed something not super
Yeah, it absolutely is.
narrow, right? It gives them some room,
But I think the depth of lore in it is good.
Oh yeah,
I think
haven't
it's-
read it through yet, but I just mean just
It's
bits that I
massive.
Went through.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. I'm super like I don't remember what this thing sells for. $60. $60.
That's roughly
$60 US. This is a solid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is a solid book
It's
for
a
$60.
hardback book.
No shortage
Yeah.
of page count with
No,
Cubicle 7.
no, and quality in that page count. So okay, you know, main rule book, I would, you know, I'd give it like a
7 out of 10.
I'd give it an 8. Yeah, for me,
Yep.
an 8. And the only reason I say that is because again, after going through it, I was like, I'm not like, what am I supposed to be doing with this? Like, I don't know. It just wasn't clicking for me.
Is there a starter adventure in the book?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, so let's talk about the starter set.
Yeah.
Which retails for I think $45 or $50, which is kind of steep for a starter set, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I usually try to want to get in that $20, $30 range to.
I would not say this is, you know, baby's first role playing game.
No.
Like, this is a more advanced role playing game for like, I wouldn't throw somebody in the deep and say, "Oh, you never played role playing before?
Here, play
Let me
this."
introduce you to Imperium Maledictum." Oh, I'm sorry, what? You know, is that like Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Maybe we should just play Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, looking at the character sheets, I'll give them a lot of credit. There's a lot of the reference you need to play
Right on that.
as an advanced player. Like you're saying, sitting down someone who's never played a role playing game, they would not know what they're looking at.
Yeah, it's a little confusing in that regard. Call of Cthulhu is actually a little easier in that sense, I think. It's easy to explain.
And part of that is also that the characters are largely real world characters.
Yes.
You're not playing somebody with a bionic eye.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If people aren't familiar with, okay, let's back up a step.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with 40K, with Warhammer 40,000, and you're like, I've not played Dungeons and Dragons before, I could see going, okay, we could give this a try.
right.
Or say you played the PC game. Even that
Rogue
level,
Trader or something, yeah.
even that level of exposure, I think you would have
Now
a
you're-
level up on.
Can I borrow a D10? Because all I have are dice 6.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the starter set, what comes inside of it? It comes with a booklet describing the Rokarth, which is a guide to the hive world that you're in. It comes with a bunch of handouts, which are the pre-gen character sheets, as well as kind of a handout of like, hey, this is where you start. Read this first, get started, and then it comes with the it doesn't come with a rule book, but as you mentioned, it comes with about 8 to 10 thick card stock rules sheets. And I think this isn't. I think this is so you could hand them out to players while you're still looking at a rule. I would have preferred this to be a booklet, quite frankly, but that's me. The other thing it comes with is the Blazing Seraph, which is the starter adventure we've been talking about, and it comes with 2d10 in it. Whether those are easily legible or not is another matter. I like mine very, very clear. But we've talked about the Blazing Seraph a little bit, the mission we're playing through, which is, I think, really well written.
Oh, yeah.
This is the guide, the Rokarth, A Guide to the Hive, is a really great little book. Not only does it pair with the mission, because the mission takes place here, but it gives you like, hey, here's a hive. Your game could literally just be in the hive the whole time and never leave it. I mean, I think I would eventually like to go somewhere else. Yeah. But it talks about all of the noble houses, the merchant guilds, the factions in the hive. It gives details for each of the sections of the hive. And then in the end, it gives you a series of kind of villains in the area, but also it gives you like kind of adventure starters.
Yeah.
Like here's some seeds kind of what it could turn into and where it kind of goes. And so this is actually a pretty invaluable little book right here. I think this is actually the most valuable part of the starter set, if I'm being honest.
I was going to say about the rules cards in this case, instead of a booklet, it might be intended to help with getting to the table and playing.
I think that is the case.
Maybe passing some of the rules over to someone during play, or
it is a good point,
or just using it as a screen, because it doesn't come with a screen in the basic set.
Correct.
Some of those things you could set up just to have handy at the table without having to flip through a book to find it.
That is correct. Is correct. That's a good point. I think that's a really good point. And they say in it, the objective is everything is here for you to just start right away.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
The adventure, while it always helps to read these adventures well in advance, like you could, in theory, sit down and just start playing. It would be awfully clunky.
Yeah.
But it's a really great set. The box it comes in is sturdy and well presented. The graphics on it are fantastic. Like everything about it is solid.
Yeah, it's good quality. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, little things like the Psyker table, I would have preferred to been on the character sheet. Like I didn't need the back of the paper
to be the entire picture.
A whole page picture. They could have done half and given me some of the.
I could see that would be useful.
rules.
But that's so you can stand it up. Whoops. You can stand it up.
Right.
And people can see who you're playing.
And your name. Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah. Who
That's very
looks over
true.
there?
Hey,
Well, Doug used to do this thing when we were playing Warhammer Fantasy, where he would get like a cardstock. He'd print the picture and name of the person on it, and it would fold into like a little folder, and he'd set them out on the table in front of you, so you knew all the NPCs and what they looked like.
settings.
It was super helpful.
Yeah. No. And I think you're right, Lars. I think that is the intention.
All right, so it's a good.
Yeah, I just think of this character
player screen.
I need the Psyker table.
Yeah,
That would be handy.
Right.
So you know what? Hey, here's the card with the Psyker table.
Right.
That's
right.
to your point, Tom.
Need it. Yeah.
Yeah, to your point. That's a really, really. That's a very solid.
Yep.
Now that I think about it, all right, I take it back.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have liked a little rules booklet as well, but I think the cards work out in this.
The other thing is you could have copied off some of those just for every player to have a set so they can look at it and go through the game. Yeah. So I think the starter box is a big win in my book. Like it helped me, an experienced GM and experienced role player, understand the gateway that they're trying to get you through with this game. And the adventure's top notch. I mean, honestly, I'd rate this also, probably I'd give it an 8 out of 10 at this point. The one thing I would really like is I would have liked if the adventure came with some maps of where the combats were going to take place. Steve, we used to joke all the time in Cyberpunk, like we'd be playing and we'd go, everything's fine. And then the GM would be like, and then you go to this bar, and then he'd lay down a map. You'd be like, okay, here comes the combat. But this is a case where like they describe things and they're like, okay, there's this zone, and this zone. It's like, well, why didn't you just give me a map with those zones? What I did was just draw out in my mind, well, okay, I think this is what that bar looks like, and here's the 3 zones they described.
And it doesn't have to be a huge play mat, because again, you're just measuring zones.
Yeah.
Just a sheet of paper.
Yeah, that's what I did.
PDF. And it worked out great. Yeah.
PDF.
Yeah. And you know what? I haven't checked, but maybe there is a PDF for it, for the maps, but I would have really appreciated maps in there. It would have been handy.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in once you're in the booklet level, right, you're not just loose papers booklet level. What's a couple more pages?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Or drop a piece of art and put the piece of art is the map,
or in the box lid.
Just
to be able to show the different zones.
Yeah. The box lid does contain, as you saw on the inside of it, a map of the sector. Yeah. I would also like to be able to purchase a sector map at some point, but we'll see if they make that available.
I think being able to visualize the zones, I think, really would help players, especially if they're new to the system.
So in general, like, I think I'd give it an 8 out of 10 as well. It was very, very helpful. I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, so then Cubicle 7 also sent me the GM screen. GM screen comes with a interesting. So first off, as far as Game Master screens go, everything on the GM side in this one is so freaking helpful. Like, so helpful.
That's nice.
I have to admit, the Call of Cthulhu screens tend to not have as much like what I want on the inside of it.
Yes, that's most GM screens are like that. Actually, they have like, okay, I can use about 30% of this, and the rest of it I don't want to see.
The Call of Cthulhu GM screen does not have like, here's all the skills characters have, and so it's very difficult sometimes for me to go
kind of core.
and in Call of Cthulhu, there's probably 60 skills.
There's a bunch,
at least. And so it's like, okay, it would have been nice to have a listing of those so I can at least call out, hey, make this type of skill check. This does include a skill list. It includes a random names generator. It includes everything you need to know about combat actions and how making an attack works, and superiority and difficulty and critical wounds and outcomes and influence, and core rulebook references. And I would say under each thing, for example, under superiority, it lists out all those things I talked about, gaining superiority and all that. And at the bottom, it says, for the full superiority rules, see page 196 of Imperium Maledictum.
Beautiful.
It's like, that's incredible.
References. Wow.
They just can't ever change the page numbers.
They can't change it, or they have to sell you a new GM screen.
You have to buy everything. Yeah.
The art on the background is, I think, is evocative. And
I kept staring at it looking for Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was just like, is that, there's my character.
I was really surprised at how great of a resource that is. Then it comes with the Macharian Miscellany supplement in it, which is a 30-page book, staple-bound book, that talks about, it just has like a ton of rumors that you can find in different locations.
Oh, awesome.
So just random rumors you can give to the party. It talks about, the different factions in it. It gives example NPCs in a couple cases of an Adeptus Mechanicus person or a rogue trader example. And then again, like the other book, this gets to the back of it. It has like miscellany you can find, like if psychic visions you can have, administratum paperwork you can go. I mean, some of these tables I doubt I'll ever use, but you never know.
Hey, it's the ready ref sheets.
They're fun to have. Various tech priest prayers. Knowledge is eternal. Knowledge is sacred. Knowledge is power. And then it has a section which are open case files called impossible information, and these are all hooks for different scenarios that you could run through. And there's like 3 or 4 different scenarios you can play there. Solid little add-on to a very reasonably priced GM screen. As far as GM screens go, I gotta give this one, I think, quite frankly, this is like a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I was going to say it's at least an 8 or 9 for me when you get those bits of those cool esoteric tables that it adds so much flavor and narrative to the.
There's flow charts for combat. That's what you need. There's flow charts for interactions with character. I mean, it's very, very well done.
Yeah, it has what I was looking for, which is not just the skills, but the specialties underneath.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
In the book, we were like flipping in on the character sheet. It's my only ding with it. I wish on the characters they give us for this scenario, the specialties would have been listed underneath the parent skill.
That would have been kind of nice. Yeah.
And been like, oh, okay, because it's just a different area.
Yeah.
Minor nuance.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I really liked it.
I mean, overall, I think we all, tell me if anybody disagrees, I think we all agree very high quality.
Super high quality. And it's also the horizontal profile there. You can actually see the GM's face over the screen, not talking into a wall.
I love the horizontal profile GM screens. I won't even
Landscape.
buy.
I guess it's landscape is the appropriate.
There you go. I won't buy the vertical ones anymore.
No, me neither.
Too big. Okay. So, the starter set price, MSRP is $39.99 US dollars. Completely reasonable price. The GM screen comes in at $30, so it's a little on the steep side, but it's honestly it's a solid piece, and it's not cheap cardstock either. It's thick
It'll
cardboard.
stand up on its own. It's not going to blow over real easy.
Nope.
Yep.
And the rule book itself, I said is $60 starting price. So I mean, that's a heavy, it's an expensive book in terms of just general, but it has everything you need to play in it, really, and it is.
That's kind of the price of core rule books these days for most games. It's going to be $60.
It's not out of range for that.
It's the cost of a PC game.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so the interesting thing is we talked about how the game can be played like Dark Heresy. It could be played like Rogue Trader. So here's what they've done. They're supposed to be coming out, I think, this quarter, which is Q3 of 2025. They are doing an Inquisition GM's guide, and that comes in at $45. It's hardbound, and they are doing the Imperial Maledictum Inquisition Player's Guide, which comes in at $40. Both of these are hardbound books.
Interesting.
And so clearly the first theme they're exploring here is the Inquisition theme, which I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Yeah, Dark Heresy. To Steve's point, this is kind of Dark Heresy 3.0.
Yeah.
You can pre-order it now, but it's not available yet. And then they are releasing also the Macharian Requisition Guide, which this is going to have more equipment and stuff. Although, honestly, this book's not light on equipment. We barely even touched it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's coming is looking really, really solid too. And I got to tell you, I'm going to be picking it up.
There's a new adventure planned to come out.
There is
a webpage.
Yeah.
Chemical Burn.
Yeah.
Which sounds very cyberpunk and metal.
It does sound. But I mean, in general, I mean, actually you can get it right now for $5, Chemical Burn. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
In PDF format. So, I mean, in general, I think like this is a really solid game. Like, and what was interesting for me is this is a total flip flop for me. Like I was like, what the, I'll just play Dark Heresy. And now I feel like I could still play Dark Heresy, utilize these rules, which are pretty great.
I think they're portable.
And I could take the themes and obviously not the mechanics of Dark Heresy, like you get a plasma pistol, and that's different than what obviously a plasma pistol here. But I have so many resource books for Dark Heresy and adventures that I can port those over easily.
Easily.
Same with Rogue Trader, And,
well, even like plasma pistol, once I think you got your feet wet, you're like, oh, this is equivalence.
Yeah. Right. What I'm saying is, like, if they release new equipment in the Dark Heresy book, like that is not portable over to this game.
Right.
They are totally different systems. But what I'm saying is the lore, the adventures, the layout of the Coronis Expanse for Rogue Trader, the Calixis Sector for Dark Heresy, all those are usable in this game.
Somebody like you who has the resources, you could go pull out an NPC navigator from the other books.
Yes.
And you could really, just not too long, make them.
Yeah. You just make that character. I mean, it's just the person represents that character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I think I might want to run like this at Adepticon next year.
Ooh, really?
Like, I mean, I enjoyed playing the one from the Dark Darkest Dungeon, not Darkest Dungeon. The Basement of
Death guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. But like, I could see like putting this together because the materials are so good and easy to put out. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could totally see it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I know. I had a great time playing, and it has a lot of promise for future play as well.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Agreed.
Do you guys want to finish this adventure? Like we could do it.
Of course, I
Yeah.
do.
We could do it online.
That's the thing you mentioned with travel. Like we're trying to do more in person
Yeah.
gaming and like bring some of that back.
It's a little difficult for Tom. He has to come a ways.
It's a little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump. Yeah.
Yeah. But understanding what we're dealing with now.
Oh yeah.
Like this would be easy to run online too.
But we're also not taking figures. We could go up to Tom's occasionally.
You know what? Yeah. That is a very valid point. Tom, we can come up to your place and
sounds like fun.
Next time we'll do that.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, cool. Let's do this. We'll take a break. We'll come back and then we will close out the show. All right, we're back to close out the show. You guys have any final thoughts you want to throw out there?
Good day.
It was fun.
It's a fun day. Yep.
I love playing role-playing games in person.
Yeah, me too. And this is good. They say that right now is the golden age of role-playing games because there's so many options out there besides just like D&D and whatnot. I'd say this is near the top of the pile.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
that high?
Yeah, like top 10% at least. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm excited. You know, it's another opportunity to get into the grim, dark future of the first millennium. And
I didn't feel like so in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. This is one of the things that always frustrated me about it. So we played a game where Doug was running it.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah,
and we were like, we were indentured into the City Watch. And God, Doug was good at making me hate that sergeant that we worked for. That guy was a corrupt jerk. And he just had us under his thumb, and I was just like, God, this is just miserable. Like, just trying to eat. Like, how are we gonna? We have to pay this guy whatever, $5 silver a week. Yeah. We're like the City Watch, and we're like, maybe we should rob these people for the money so we could pay this guy. Like, it was. He did a good job of putting us in that position. But I've always struggled with that game where you're like, I'm a rat catcher, and then I get to become this, and I'm like. Every time I bring it up, Aaron always brings up the rat catcher thing. And
that would have been a step up for most
I say, cool. Look at the cover of the book. Do those guys look like rat catchers? Like, look at those heroes on the cover of the book.
and Felix, right?
Right. And I'm like, when I look at the cover of the book, it's like, I want to play like an elven archer or a,
troll slayer.
Right. No, you're a gong farmer.
Bing Bong the archer.
Bing Bong the archer.
Yeah, an archer and such. I want to do those heroic things. So, I mean, that level of like downtrodden just doesn't appeal to me as much, which is interesting because they're releasing Cubicle 7 is also releasing the Old World.
Yeah.
Which I was like, why are they releasing this? And then this is what led me to this. The conclusions I reached was the Old World is more heroic, combat oriented. It takes place a couple hundred years before Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. It's less investigation and more kicking down doors and fighting monsters.
There you go.
And I'm like, oh, I think that might be more my interest in play for that. I'm wondering if they use some of their revised Wrath and Glory rules in that system.
I'd be curious to see. I mean, having grown up with the Enemy Within, I have a soft spot in my heart for that particular campaign. And
it looks fantastic, but man, I was so tired of being beaten down all the time. It was horrible.
It's funny. There's like a sweet spot in the barrier to entry for a player mechanically. Like you put a lot of time into writing up a Warhammer Fantasy RP character.
Yeah.
And then you could just die like that.
Sure.
That's why I rolled randomly.
Well, I mean, D&D had a lot of research when they talked about 4th and 5th coming out that, look, every 3 sessions go up a level. Like the momentum right? You want to feel like you're progressing. It's called Dungeons and Dragons. Who survived a dragon below level 6, unless it was a wormling, right? Like Dungeons and Dragons. No, we have not been to a dungeon yet. We're still in town.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and that was the frustrating the game that we were like 8-9 sessions in, something like that in. We were playing for a while.
Oh, of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay?
Yeah. And we're like,
that was exhausting.
We're like, and we were turning into bad people, which is fine.
We really were.
Yeah,
Which is fine if we wanted to play Walking Dead fantasy.
Yeah.
But we were trying to be heroes.
Steve, that's the comparison. Yeah. We had a different vision for where we wanted to go. The Walking Dead was exactly the comparison I was going to make because like I loved the show, but after a while I was like,
I would not want to play in this world.
can they just get a break? Like this is ridiculous. No, I agree with you. And it just felt like 8 sessions in and I'm just like, we're still under the heel of this jerk. How do we kill this guy? Like we were literally trying to figure out how do we knock this guy off and get away with it. Which I mean, I guess that's what they're trying to elicit.
Now I'm the judicial champion.
Yeah, but I really wanted to. I like my fantasy games a little more heroic.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine with it being gritty, but like, oh man.
Well, it would have been okay.
It's too much for me.
Look, this is the 2-3 game scenario, right? Like time boxed, right? Like mini series, not a campaign, right? It's not a Game of Thrones,
campaign
right?
of pain.
It's it's a 3-game arc, right? This is what we're gonna do, kind of see what it's like, and be like, oh, okay, and we're out.
Whereas I would say this game, which is their lower level, like non-combat, I don't feel like you are the dregs of society scrambling away. Even honestly, even Dark Heresy is a little tougher than this. Like this, they I think they reached a nice point where it's like I'm somewhat effective unless I roll like Lars. And
Sitting right
and
here.
Steve.
It's genetic.
But you also, again, like you can offset that. Like games of Warhammer 40,000, have dice and they have random chance to them. The idea is to mitigate that as much as possible when you're playing. This is a game where that superiority mechanic, like you can try to mitigate the dice being bad to more in your favor, and then you can make that choice. It's a very fascinating.
Necromunda, the role playing game, would be the analogy.
Well,
Like,
I think
you're all just flat out gangers. Like, hey,
you could
making
do
stuff.
that
you can
with
do
this
that.
game.
I get that's what I was getting at. Wanted to say was that like I think like Carl mentioned earlier, this game is giving us the ability to play all those different levels.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come out with a supplement later that's for Rogue Trader or maybe
I think they will.
and so the rules are setting you off on a point where you could go down and be a lowly Juve in the scavy game or whatever game you choose, but you could also have some ability in some ways to mitigate the challenges.
Yeah. It's I think it's a solid game. Like I'm very interested in continuing to play it. So, okay. So, did you want to add anything else? Are you good?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. So, leave us reviews on iTunes, your podcast app of choice. We really appreciate that, whether it's a review or just a rating. We're happy that you can reach out to us at carl@theindependentcharacters.com or josh@theindependentcharacters.com. Eventually Josh will be back. And if you have any suggestions or ideas or thoughts, you can also reach us on our Discord or you can reach us through our Facebook group. So we're kind of all over there. We have a Patreon, as you heard at the beginning of the show. We are going to release probably in 2 segments the live play that we did today. It's a little clunky. We warn you right now. We got to
Critical Role, it ain't.
Yeah, it ain't Critical Role, baby. We did get through several encounters, and I thought it was entertaining to listen to. So if that's your kind of thing, we'll put that up and make that available. So.
Good stuff.
Oh, buy t-shirts. You know what? I got 4 orders in for t-shirts, which it was a drought for a while. 4 people ordered t-shirts. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate that. I'm drawing closer to breaking even on the t-shirts I ordered.
Is there a certain size you're looking for?
Anybody wants to buy extra large, I will sell extra large
all day.
all day, baby.
Just in case people were worried about that wasn't the size they were looking for. I think that's
there's a few sizes we are out of, but 2XL and XL are not them. And I have large, medium, and small still. It's the 3XL and above that I'm out of at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, I'm running out of large. Anyway, we'll do a reorder if we see there's demand. I'm not reordering anything until I see there's some demand. Okay, but until next time, this is Carl.
This is Steve.
This is Tom.
And this is Lars.
We're coming to you from the Astronomicon, where role-playing in person is always better than online.
This shall be our course. It is the Emperor ordained, and it is by his certain that we shall prevail.
That is not what you typed.
That's Rita Van Mart, my character's quote.
Skulls will be taken.
You're always a member of the inner circle.
You want to finish that, what you wrote?
Don't ask.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you in episode 263. This episode of The Independent Characters is protected by the Creative Commons license. If you have further questions as to its use, you can find information on the front page at theindependentcharacters.com.